Right now by Bill Maher, host of Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. Bill, thank you, and we miss you, and you're coming back, and that's great. In the time you've been away and watching this massacre of democracy, this president has been asked whether he's a Russian agent. Now, you have to go back to the 1940s, Alger Hiss, you know, the Roosevelts. I mean, the idea that a president of the United States is accused by the paper of record of working for the bad guys.
It's about time. I've been using the word treason and traitor for the whole time he's been in office. And every guest I've had on the show has been saying I was an alarmist and I was overstating the case. I don't hear that anymore. I hear those words used a lot more. I mean, that's what it is. What is it when you plainly are with the people who are not us? Didn't we see that in Helsinki? Plainly, he was saying, given the choice, I go with President Putin. President Putin says he didn't do it. I don't know why he would. Can you imagine if Bush, after 9/11, had stood on the rubble with the bullhorn and said, well, bin Laden says he didn't do it. I don't know why he would have.
That's what defense attorneys do. They defend. They're defending.
So,
and what do you make of the fact that if you look at this as just a citizen out there, they said the New York Times said the FBI, a bunch of bureaucrats, really, not Democrats, investigated him because they thought his behavior matched that of an agent. He was doing things one after another, including firing Comey, that seemed to be in the interest of one party, the Russians, and Putin. Is there anything in between guilty as charged and innocent? Because some people have to say, well, maybe there was some unwitting helping of the Russians. I don't understand that theory. Yours?
No, I think what you have to understand about him is that he is this clinical narcissist. I think every article about Donald Trump should begin, President Trump, who suffers from being a clinical narcissist, and then go on with the story. Because there is no difference in his mind, his sick mind, between doing what is right for him and doing what is right for the country. I don't think he thinks in terms of whether he's betraying anybody. There is no betraying. There is only what is right and good for Donald Trump. So I don't know how we get out of this except by getting him out of office. I mean, I wasn't necessarily for impeachment until recently, but I think you have to go ahead and do it. I know it's pretty hard to convict, but if you don't do it with him, where is the bar? And what sort of damage is he going to do for the next 2 years that he is there in this office? I think the question for everybody is, whose side are you on? Are you on the FBI side? I mean, he's got Republicans now attacking the FBI and all our institutions. Are you with Trump, this one man, this one sick man, or are you with the FBI? Are you with the rule of law? Are you with Donald Trump? Are you with judges? Are you with everything that we basically have built our country on? Or are you going to throw it all the way for this one guy? I want to know what the Republicans, those enablers, the Lindsey Grahams are thinking. Why are you lying to cover up for this guy, and you don't even know what you're lying to cover up?
Well, that's a question. If you just step back, 101 contacts between the Trump people going into the presidency, 101 contacts with Russians. I've spent my life with pretty much getting around, and I haven't met many Russians, maybe one or two by accident. All these 100 Russians, and I got nothing against people of Russia, but how many contacts can you have without somebody saying, what's up? Even the Republicans.
Yeah, and this is just what we know, what he does plainly, what he does in public, what he does in front of the cameras. I mean, his defense seems to be, I was only giving orders. What we're going to find out in the Mueller report, I have no idea, but it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be more of, look, it's not that complicated. If at some point he couldn't borrow money from anybody else, so he got it from the Russians, cut to the hookers in the hotel room. I mean, that's what this whole thing is about. He is into them. I don't know whether it was witting or unwitting. And as I say, when you're a narcissist like him, it doesn't really matter. He doesn't think that far ahead. He just thinks, he doesn't think. He just says, this is what I wish people would start understanding. He just says at any given moment what he wishes the reality was. I told,
well, here's a new reality.
I made Kim give up his. Yeah.
Ted Koppel today in the Washington Post read a beautifully written article saying, watch out when this guy's out of office, whether voters kick him out in 2020 or the Mueller report leads him to be impeached and convicted. Either way, he's going to be out there. I just looked at his latest numbers. Trump's up at 41. 33% of those behind him, that's a third of the country, is strongly behind him. Do you think he's going to go? You've suggested he may not leave.
Yes, I've always said that. He's going to go when he wants to go. I don't think he was saying this in the last election that it's rigged, except then he won and then it wasn't rigged. But if he loses, he's already planted that seed with his people that the whole thing is rigged, that they're all against him. You know, if you can't trust the FBI and the Justice Department and the rule of law and the judges, well, then obviously an election can be faked. So if everything is fake news and everything is rigged, when he loses the election, they're not going to accept that. That's what he knows. He has that army in the street. That's what dictators want more than anything else. They don't care about the rule of law. They care about the street. The gutter had come to power, some historian said about Hitler. That's what this is.
Let's talk about permanent damage. You know, you and I read the papers. We keep up with countries that, like the Congo, what's going on in Zimbabwe, poor countries that have just begun experimenting democracy. They got tribal differences. And every time a guy loses an election over there, they claim it was stolen. Every time they win, they try to arrest the guy they beat. It's like Trump is like that. Lock her up was what do you call it? His jingle, his jingle for the last couple of years. I mean, arrest Hillary Clinton as a joke. And when he doesn't like something, as you say, if he had lost the election in the Electoral College, he would have said it was stolen. He's teaching a good portion of the American people not to trust any objective fact, including numbers in an election.
Well, that's how all dictators do it. They have to destroy truth first, because if people read the paper, if people knew what was going on, then obviously they would be upset, but they don't. And they especially don't hear it inside the Fox News bubble. Yeah. So what you have is someone who can tell you what the truth is. They believe him more than they believe what they read in the New York Times, because they don't read the New York Times. So you're left with this situation where there is no truth, where you're just going to pick sides, and that's what we have. That's why we have this terrible lack of bipartisanship. Forget about getting anything done in the country. We're just like sort of fighting for our life now as a country.
What do you make of this Stephen King thing today? I'm not talking about the novelist, the guy who writes the scary stories. This guy from Iowa, finally, he's been pushing the envelope for years, like Don Imus used to do, and now he's doing it. They've finally today passed a resolution in the U.S. Congress saying this is awful. We don't believe in white supremacy. They're making it official.
I mean, look where the bar is, Chris. That we're cheering the Republicans because they say we don't believe in white supremacy. This is how far down we've gone. This is where they draw the line. I'm glad they drew the line somewhere, because I'm beginning to wonder if they would ever draw a line. But again, the question we always have to ask is, what will the Republicans put up with? That's what it comes down to. Obviously, most of the country thinks that Donald Trump is a dangerous menace. So you're either on that page or you are pro-dangerous menace. And if the Republicans are going to go down this road where they are going to defend him, even when he is taking down the FBI, the Justice Department, those institutions, those pillars of our society, then I don't know where we're going to go. We're going to go someplace that isn't America anymore.
Who could rebuild the country of all the candidates you're looking at? Are you ready to look at any and say you see something there that might lead to a truly great presidency coming up of all these 30 people talking about running in 2020?
Well, any presidency would be better. I'm glad we're having a big field, because I want the Democrats to find the best candidate available. I want them to go through a rigorous primary process. I think most people are saying that on the left, and that's a good thing. So I don't know about all these people. You know, people are asking me all the time, what do you think of Beto? I don't know. You know, it's like a band. I just heard the one song so far. I want to hear more, but I really don't know a lot of their stuff. And that's true with a lot of these people. And we're going to find out. And that's what's good, because I want the most talented politician to emerge. We all want that. We want someone who can beat Donald Trump. That's the most important thing. So we'll find out who that is. And I like a lot of the people I see so far.
You're a smart guy, Bill Maher. Thank you so much.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.